Former South Korean President Chun Doo-hwan stood up in front of a flurry of flashing cameras again last Monday. Chun appeared before a district court in the southwestern city of Gwangju, the very place where a pro-democracy uprising against his authoritarian rule took place in May 1980. Monday's court appearance by the disgraced ex-leader comes in 23 years after he stood in a criminal trial on treason and other charges in 1996. He lived a relatively quiet life since he had been released in December 1997 on a presidential pardon. This week, Korea Now looks into how Chun was able to seize power back in the late 1970s and what the Gwangju uprising means in modern Korean history. Chun, the 88-year-old, was in charge of investigation into the assassination of President Park Chung-hee, which is often referred to as the October 26 incident. On December 12, 1979, in what became known as the Incident of December 12, Chun ordered the arrest of Army Chief of Staff without authorization from then-President Kyu-ha. By the next morning, Chun was in charge of the Korean Army, making him a de facto ruler as an unelected coup leader until September the next year. Che, who had long since become little more than a figurehead, resigned in August 1980, and Chun was elected as his successor by the National Conference for Unification, then South Korean Electoral College. Chun was officially inaugurated into office on September 1st that year and served as president of South Korea until 1988. Chun's presidency occurred during the Cold War, and his foreign policies were based around combating communism, not only from North Korea, but also from the Soviet Union and Communist China. During his term, there was a North Korean assassination attempt against him at Rangoon, Burma, or Myanmar in 1983, as well as a bombing of a Korean Air Flight 858 in 1987 by Pyongyang. Nevertheless, he proposed a summit between the two Koreas in 1985 for the first time as South's president, but it never ended up being held. Chun was indicted again in May last year on charges that his memoirs defamed a deceased priest over his eyewitness account of the bloody crackdown on the Gwangju revolt. The late activist priest Jo Chul-hyun said he witnessed the military firing at citizens from helicopters during the bloody suppression of the protest. Chun described Jo as Satan in a mask and a shameless liar in his book published in early 2017. Therefore, Jo's nephew Jo Young-dae, also a Catholic priest, filed a complaint which led to Chun's court appearance in more than 2 decades. On May 18, 1980, the brutal crackdown on student-led demonstrations against Chun's junta sparked a massive civilian protest in Gwangju. When the troops filed into crowds, it is said protesters began to arm themselves. According to an official tally, the bloodshed led to deaths of around 200 people and 1,000 injured. Ahead of Monday's court hearing, Jo Young-dae called for the former president to admit to his wrongdoing at least for once. However, Chun has never admitted responsibility or apologized for the crackdown. After the hearing, protesters attempted to block Chun's vehicle from leaving the scene, demanding him to apologize over his role in brutally suppressing citizens during the upheaval. How the Gwangju uprising should be defined remains a deeply divided issue in South Korea and is often a subject of ideological confrontation between the conservatives and liberals. Watching through all this, many South Koreans, including myself, had a lot of mixed emotions. Do you feel the same way? Please let me know in the comments below, and thank you for watching Korea Now.